This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
(6:15). This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Lavani Vijayatunga. First, we take a look at the headlines. The President says the development process will be carried out while safeguarding the environment. 5 national committees have been appointed to take policy decisions of the Gama Samaga Pilisandarak program. Land disputes were solved in the Uhana Ampara area. The income of Sathosa increases. And in news overseas, Trump impeachment vote may come today. Those are the headlines, and now more to the details of the local news. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has assured to take forward the government's development move while safeguarding the environment. He also pointed that benefits of development should be given to the people who were closely linked with the environment from ancient times in an environmentally friendly manner. He made these remarks while participating in the Gama Samaga Pilisandara program held at Mimure area this morning. The villagers praised the president and the government for arriving to their village to solve their problems. The president has also advised the relevant authorities to provide speedy solutions for the problems faced by the people in the area. Divisional Secretary of Uhana, Ajanta Kumari, says that many land issues have been solved and cleared through the 5th program of the President People Meeting, Gama Samaga Pilisandara program held at the Ampara Uhana Divisional Secretariat Division. The villagers appreciated the President and the government for taking measures to solve the problems in the area. She also stated that the lands cultivated traditionally were handed over to the people in the area. The roads in the Uhana area will be renovated and the Bokabad, the primary health office, will also be developed. Measures have also been taken to develop several tanks. The income of Satho's outlets have increased due to the decline of prices of several essential goods. The income has exceeded 600 million rupees with the commencement of providing concessions to the consumers. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardana said that an agreement was reached between the local producer and the direct importer to provide goods at concessionary prices. It is planned to manufacture 100 rail compartments locally. Transport Minister Gamini Lokoge said that cabinet approval has been received for it. The required rail compartment for the next 5 years is 800. The minister said that if manufactured locally, the government can save 50% of the sum spent for the importation of rail compartments. This is the news from Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
People's Bank introduces the Parinatha Vishrama loan scheme to honour and empower pensioners.
And we continue with more local news. The Paddy Marketing Board says that paddy purchasing is continuing. It has purchased 336 metric tons of paddy so far. Cooperative societies have also commenced purchasing paddy. The cooperative department is scheduled to purchase 45 metric tons of paddy for its 382 storage facilities. The first phase will begin today at Vavuniya District Secretariat and Radhapura Kurnagala Provincial Councils. Badula Demodara 9-arch railway bridge completes 100 years this year. Accordingly, the Minister of Cultural Affairs will declare it as a national heritage. A commemorative stamp will also be issued to mark the occasion. The bridge has been built by the British in the year 1921, according to a creation of a villager, P.K. Apuhami, who was a resident of Demodara. The bridge is 300 feet long, 25 feet wide, and 80 feet in height. And to conclude the local news, the headlines once again. The President says the development process will be carried out while safeguarding the environment. 5 national committees have been appointed to take policy decisions of Gama Samaga Pilisandara program. Land disputes were solved in the Uhana Ampara area. The income of Sathosa increases. And that was the local news.
People's Bank introduces the Parinatha Vishrama loan scheme to honour and empower pensioners.
අපේම දරුවෝ වගේ අපට සැලකිල්ල. A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The main news story for this evening: 5 national coordinating committees will be appointed to take policy decisions of Gama Samagapili Sandarak program. The objective is this move is to expedite the program successfully which is taking place under President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. These committees will be nominated to develop agriculture, livelihood, infrastructure facilities, public security and social development. The Presidential Task Force on Economic Revival and Poverty Eradication says that the responsibility of these committees would be to provide speedy solutions for the development issues that can be solved at national level. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And in Washington this evening, the residents and motorists of Columbus city limits complain that certain main roads and inner roads are impassable due to the dilapidated condition of those roads. The situation becomes worse during rainy days. Sudden excavation works on main roads also make the situation worse. This is for the attention of the RTA, City Traffic Police and Colombo Municipal Council. And that came to you in Watchlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always.
All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Headlines of the world news: Trump impeachment vote may come today. Myanmar crackdown fuels protests. Vaccinations running short in major U.S. cities. Those are the headlines, and now more to the details of the world news. The U.S. Senate is likely to vote in the impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump as early as today. Trump's lawyers defended his innocence yesterday, arguing that he had no intention of encouraging lawless actions. He is accused of inciting an insurrection by the supporters who stormed the Capitol on the 6th of January. His team dismissed the impeachment trial as unconstitutional. They also argued that Trump's fiery speech ahead of the riot was a legally protected expression of his doubts about the results of the 2020 presidential election in November. Mass protests in Myanmar entered the 8th day today. Despite a ban on gathering of 5 or more people imposed by the military, protesters called for the release of Aung San Suu Kyi in places including the country's largest city, Yangon, and capital, Naypyidaw. Some government and medical staff have stopped work to protest against the military. People in Yangon say security authorities suddenly came to a hospital where workers were protesting last night and detained several nurses. They were released after people living in the area and near the hospital protested against the police. In the United States, an average of 1.4 million people per day have received coronavirus vaccinations over the past 7 days. This is more than twice as many as the same period last month. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention says that about 35.8 million people, or more than 10% of the country's population, have received at least one shot. Meanwhile, Dodger Stadiums in Los Angeles, which is serving as a venue for administering vaccinations, has been temporarily closed down after the city ran out of doses. And to conclude the world news, the headlines once again. Trump impeachment vote may come today. Myanmar crackdown fuels protests. Vaccines running short in major U.S. cities. And that was the world news.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always.
All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
In development news, the inauguration ceremony of fundraising for the restoration of the Gavapiya Stupa was held under the patronage of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa at the Sambuddhi Vihara in Colombo 7 yesterday. During the ceremony, Commander of the Navy Vice Admiral Nishanta Ulugethanna handed over a cheque for 5 million rupees to the President to restore the pagoda. With that, we move on to the sports news. The second test between India and England was played in Chennai today. At the close of play today, India scored 300 runs with a loss of 6 wickets, and Rohit Sharma scored 161 runs for 231 balls. That was the sports news. Business news coming up.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
In business news, Minister of Agriculture Mahindananda Alutkamge says that all activities towards the distribution of chemical fertilizer will be carried out only by Lanka Fertilizer Company. He said the cabinet approval has been received to form the commercial fertilizer company as an organic fertilizer company. He said this is the first time an organic fertilizer company has commenced in the country. It is expected to increase the usage of organic fertilizer up to 30%. That was the business news, and economic news follows.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic News. Courtesy of...
Congratulations on your promotion. When will be our treat, huh?
How about today?
Oh no, I was just joking.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
And in economic news, the treasury bills worth over 38 billion rupees will be issued. The central bank says the relevant auction will be held on the 17th of this month. Biddings are being called from the primary dealers on government securities. The treasury bills could be purchased through the licensed commercial banks and primary dealers. That is the economic news and the weather report to conclude.
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
No, Amma. We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
Oh, really? How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy. She might be feeling very uncomfortable. The airport must be heavily crowded because it's a season.
Amma, calm down. Everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge. There's nothing to worry.
Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
And finally, the weather report, the Met Department says, except for a few showers in the eastern, Uva and central provinces, mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere over the island. Misty conditions can be expected in the central, Sabaragamuwa and western provinces and in the Gaul and Mathura districts during the morning hours. And before we conclude this bulletin of news, let's get back to the headlines once again. The President says the development process will be carried out while safeguarding the environment. 5 national committees have been appointed to take policy decisions of the Gama Samaga Bilisandarak program. Land disputes were solved in the Uhana Ampara area. The income of Satosa increases. And in news overseas, Trump impeachment vote may come today. And with that, we conclude this bulletin of news. And now it's back to your Saturday evening host and my good friend Asanka on the other side of the glass panel to keep you entertained.